Oh, yeah. That actually, I think. That looks good.
Does it need to be closer?
Your
like
Chick-fil-A cup. Maybe you could move.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Move
yeah,
that
you
out
don't
of
like
the way.
stuff.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to
Little house.
Welcome to, what do you say?
Little housekeeping, like literal housekeeping though, not like podcast housekeeping.
Yeah. Welcome to Heroshot. My name is Dunk. This is Eric, and it's May the 4th. Happy Star Wars Happy Star Wars Day to you, my friend.
Hey, May the 4th be with you.
How was your Star Wars?
Always.
How was your Star Wars Day been?
It was fine. It worked.
Pretty uneventful.
Yeah, definitely.
I would have to say the same. I also spent the whole day at work, here at home still. We're recording in person for the first time in
A long time.
almost 2 months. It feels
two cycles, I think, as they would say in Star Wars, right?
two
Cycles?
You know, they do say
Kind of
years
looks like a period
sometimes. They do say years, which kind of throws me off because I'm like, I feel like on every planet a year would be different. They do say years, but
I mean, that is true.
sometimes they do say cycles. But I think it all just depends. Joining us in the chat, G Daddy Garrett Davidson.
Gonna be honest, real quick. I don't like this being on this side because I have a hard part. Now it's kind of going in because we can't get our hair cut now.
Oh, you
But
can't,
the way my
your
part, I don't like the way my hair looks from this angle.
Oh, really?
I will say it looks a little saturated. The color?
It's a little. I think.
You think it's a light?
It's the light.
Okay,
and
I'm just letting you know for like post or
I'm still playing around
not
with
for post, but
with
just
a
so you know
few-
next time.
with a few different settings. I got some new settings on the camera, as also a new lens, and we got this new big light in here now. Well, it's the same light, but a new softbox.
You know, I thought about something really morbid earlier, and I'm not even sure I want to bring it up right now. But now I just thought about it because it has to do with lights.
Okay,
Should I go for it?
I
and
guess.
Just go
I
deep dive?
mean, you've come this far.
I thought about how sad it would be when. Okay, so here's my thought process earlier at work. Garrett's probably about to be like, "What is going on?" Earlier, I thought about at work. I thought, what if Duncan and I record and one of us gives the other COVID-19 and one of us dies because of it? What happens? And I thought, well, if I die, whatever. I don't even really want a funeral or anything. If Duncan dies, I would feel awful. I'd probably have a mental breakdown. And I said,
appreciate that, man.
do you remember the what's the movie with the little girl and her best friend dies and he wears glasses? She's like, he needs his glasses.
You're thinking of
Not
Good
saying-
Burger, right?
No.
Oh,
You know what I'm talking about?
yeah.
Though? I was thinking like
with
I would
Macaulay Culkin.
I would probably bring like a what is this called?
That's called a softbox.
I'd probably bring a softbox to
It's
your
a big
open
one.
your open casket funeral and start crying and be like, he needs more light. He likes his light.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get things balanced out. Actually, I mean, if you wanted to, you see that red dial right there on
Yeah,
that
should
thing
I-
that's hanging? If you wanted to turn it down just a little bit,
Readjust. Oh no.
ooh,
Oh, it's fine. It was empty.
it's all good. For those who are joining us or just now joining us, we are actually that's tone it down just a little bit. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I think that's perfect. Yeah, perfect. For those who are joining us in the live stream,
I'm standing in the corner. Why can't you
we
do
are working. This is sort of like a dual purpose
that?
live stream here because this is going out on the Heroshot Media YouTube channel, but also the audio version of this recording, this special event, if you will also be available on the Too Much to Say podcast feed also. So it's kind of like a dual threat. We're covering all our bases.
A double sabered podcast.
Yeah, it's like we're both Darth Mauls up in here.
Audio, video.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
I wish there was a graphic you could just have on demand for that.
Yeah,
but it's never
just,
gonna
just
happen.
all the time.
Yeah.
No, we figured with May the 4th happening this year, we haven't really done anything for May the 4th in the past. But I gotta say,
Which I'm surprised you never have.
in years past, this year we sort of got inundated with news and some pretty exciting things that were announced today in the Star Wars world. But I feel like in years past, it's kind of something that goes by, and maybe that's due to the fact that this year we're not getting a movie or anything. I mean, we are still getting Mandalorian later in the year.
Probably.
But most years, May the 4th kind of comes and goes, or at least from my memory. And all Star Wars all Lucasfilm really does, or Disney, whoever, is like, we get like an Instagram post about it. They're like, Happy May the 4th. And then that's kind of it. Like, everyone expects, or in years past, everyone's sort of like, oh, maybe we'll get a new trailer. Maybe we'll get, some really exciting news about something that's upcoming for May the 4th. And it doesn't really ever happen. But this year has kind of been the opposite of that, because we did get quite a bit of news today going into the Star Wars universe going forward.
Okay, I know about the biggest piece of news. I don't know what you're talking about for anything else.
Well, the
Are you
biggest...
talking about Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga box art that was released?
I was not talking about that.
Dude, Lego Star Wars games are fun.
The biggest piece of news that came out today, obviously, is the announcement that Taika Waititi, famed director, writer, just overall great dude, is a friend of the show. It will be
friend of the show, Taika Waititi.
We'll be helming a brand. Where do I go to get this? Okay,
what are you doing?
There we go.
Okay,
he will.
The rest of the show is just Taika Waititi.
Yeah, I couldn't get it to disappear. Yeah, the Taika Waititi will be directing and co-writing a brand new theatrical Star Wars release. Eric, when you heard this news, what'd you think?
I think it's cool. It immediately makes me think, I mean, he's really good with like offbeat comedy, but it's still being pretty serious at times. I think a movie kind of like imagine oh my God, Jojo Rabbit, but like during...
You don't have to do it like that. There you go.
Sorry.
Perfect. Okay. That's perfect.
Imagine Jojo Rabbit, but like in the Star Wars universe, like maybe someone who's like part of the Empire. But
you immediately went to Jojo Rabbit? I do think that kid might be in the movie.
Oh, dude, I hope his best friend is his little.
His little buddy. Yeah,
I love him.
I love Jojo Rabbit.
It's really good. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who's in it, of course. But I'm really interested to know what kind of movie it'll be, because his style wasn't even part of the MCU really. Like Guardians was pretty close to Ragnarok, but like the tone of his movies and the way he does comedy, it'll be interesting to see what it is.
I told you, we discussed this kind of briefly before we went live, and I told you that I think I've pretty much seen all of his movies at this point. I think he did one short film early on that I have not seen yet, but I've seen obviously What We Do in the Shadows is like one of my favorite movies.
Mm-hmm,
Thor Ragnarok's one of my favorite MCU movies. Jojo Rabbit was really awesome. Hunt for the Wilder People, I just watched it maybe 2 weeks ago. Really good. And then there's that Eagle versus Shark. I almost forgot.
I've never seen that. Okay.
That was the one he did way early on with Jermaine Clement from Flight of the Conchords. And they're all really good. And it's like my sort of thought that I take away is like, if you had asked me who my favorite director was like a week ago, I probably would have said Taika Waititi. And now my favorite director is... And I mean, this is sort of cheating me because he's already done episodes of The Mandalorian and everything. So
that's a big difference.
He's stepped his toe into the...
Directing an episode of TV is like nothing like directing a movie.
I totally agree, but at least we kind of maybe know what we're in for stylistically. Though he was kind of hampered down by like the rules of the show, I guess, if you will. But it's my favorite director, like in my favorite franchise, and like you can't take away anything. Like, that's all good.
Yeah, it's cool.
I don't know the woman's name, but he's also, as far as I know, is
typical man.
He's co-writing it with with one of the screenwriters from 1917, and that is also
Elizabeth McGillingsky. Her last name is like Mick something, I think. Right?
Let's see if we can find her. Leslie Headland.
Oh wow, that's totally off.
You were way off. She is a Oscar nominated. She is Oscar nominated. Taika is Oscar winning for screenwriting last year. But no, I think this is good. This is good news all around. This is one of those things no problem. This is one of those things that's for all of the I think all of the hate and all of the I don't know what the word is, but all of the negativity that Disney and Lucasfilm has garnered, like since Disney has taken over Star Wars in these past 8? When did that? 2012?
Yeah, I think. Because I was in Springfield.
8
2012.
years?
Yeah.
Jesus.
There's been a lot in 8 years.
Yeah, it really has. Well, it's been only 5 years since the movie started. 2015. But I feel like it's just.
There's been 5 movies.
Yeah, it's crazy, and a couple of TV shows. for all of the negativity that it garners, like I think Mandalorian was like it was a real step in the right direction. Everyone seems to have really fallen in love with that series, and out of that I got to think has come this news of Taika taking on a theatrical movie.
Hey, your sister said your lighting looks magnificent.
Yeah. Yeah, there she is. I'll highlight that. Thank you, Ashlyn.
I wonder if she heard the lighting story where you're.
I don't think
dead.
she did.
Where you're dead.
She probably did
okay.
not.
Okay, that's very Garrett to say that.
My question to you is, Eric, we got the news a couple of weeks ago that what we are doing is we're moving into a new era of Star Wars, a new setting, a new time frame,
a new hope, if you will.
Exactly. I'm under the assumption that this Taika Waititi project will take place during that High Republic era. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think that's what they'll focus on. I was thinking about this earlier.
A couple of hundred years before, like what we're used to, I guess.
We were watching the episode 3 of The Mandalorian right before this. The curse or the whatever it's called. I don't know the episode. The sin, yeah. And I was thinking, man, I really can't wait to see stuff after like the Rise of Skywalker.
Right.
I really do want to know more about that, but it's like we won't get that for a while.
Yeah.
They'll go backwards because forwards only means that it's got to be like a big marquee story.
I wonder how long it'll be before we get something after. What they'll do is we'll get a comic or we'll get a novel that takes place after Rise of Skywalker first, and then they'll sort of like test the waters and see how people respond to that, and then we'll kind of go forward from there. But
this does have a Heroshot feel to it.
Why?
Garrett just typed out, "This is the news. This is the news. This is the news." And I'm like, this does feel like Heroshot.
Yeah.
Look at us.
Look at us, man. We're taking it back to the old podcast days when we used to just talk about news. And Eric would always say, people can get news from like 10 different other websites. No,
I would say by the time it was uploaded and stuff, the news was old. So.
It is cool. Like it is helpful just making this live.
Yeah, this makes sense.
Yeah.
But why don't we do Heroshot every week?
Yeah.
We're gonna be doing Heroshot every week, guys. New announcement.
If it works out, like maybe
I'm down.
That could be possible.
I found a place right by yours today. Actually, like.
Oh, is that what? I thought that's why
it's in the same. I think it's on the other side when you go right when you come in instead of left, which would be very, like, that's us. Different sides of the same coin.
We're yin and yang.
We're very yin and yang. So it makes sense.
Yang. But no, I think the Taika Waititi news is like it's fantastic news all around.
Yeah, I'm down. He's a really cool, different type of. You've never had a director to do. Well, Phil Lord and Chris Miller. So how long until Tyka's fired?
Yeah, exactly. So somebody brought that up online today. They're like, it'll be about 9 weeks, and then you'll get the news that Tyka's fired, and that'll be a bummer for everyone involved. But
he kind of seems like he would hold a grudge too, so that would probably not be good.
He also seems like he would like but he is showing the fact that I think one thing that we also were watching a little bit of that. What's the new documentary series that just popped up?
Disney Gallery.
Yeah. We watched the first episode of that, and one thing that I kind of popped into my head, like maybe the reason why Mandalorian was so successful is, dude, it was like 8 episodes?
Yeah, but like 30 minutes each.
And there's 6 like creative minds like involved with just 8 episodes, like collaboration. And I think going forward, like it just goes to show like the fact that Taika is like also bringing in they're bringing in another screenwriter to kind of do the co-write on this new project. Like it shows a willingness to sort of be collaborative. I think that's one thing that Marvel has gotten right so far is the fact that every movie has a different director besides the Russo brothers, but still like there's 2 of them. So it's better that way. But I think bringing in multiple people for a single project, I think, is really going to be what brings Star Wars back to like what we with that first season of The Mandalorian. I think
I'm listening. I promise.
Yeah, I know. Okay. One thing I know is that it felt right. That first season of Mandalorian felt like Star Wars, when I think for so many people the sequel trilogy has started to maybe feel like something completely different. But needless to say, I think this is awesome news all around. They're headed in the right direction. Hopefully things stay together. Hopefully things don't, hopefully we don't get that news here in a couple weeks that.
Interesting clapper with the fish on it for season 2. I believe that's season 2.
Interesting. Yeah.
It's got like 2 koi fish.
Was that today or was that recently?
No, this is like from March or something.
Oh, okay.
Like, I was trying to look up who's supposed to direct season 2 episodes. Carl Weathers, who plays what's his name in the show, he's going to be directing an episode.
Oh, interesting.
Of course, Dave Filoni will be back. I think Taika officially is not back, and Deborah Chow is not back either to direct season 2.
Well, Deborah Chow,
she's doing Obi-Wan.
Yeah, as far as my recollection is correct, Deborah Chow, who did 1 or 2 episodes on the first season, will be doing the Obi-Wan series, and which is fantastic because her episode, I remember one of her episodes being one of my favorite of the entire series.
Is that the prison break?
No, that's not that's my least favorite episode.
Really?
Of the man.
That one feels like Rebels to me.
Really?
Yeah.
I could. Yeah, that makes sense. That's
what I think. Sorry, I'm really sorry.
No.
Taika Waititi, his whole tone and stuff. If he did a live action Rebels movie, that would be like the perfect tone for him. Like Chopper is a Taika Waititi character to me. You know what I'm saying?
I could see.
And what's his name? What's the big guy's name? Original Chewie concept. All that information from the show left me. He's got 2 names.
Yeah.
He talks like this. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Let's see here. Rebels. This is just wasting time.
I'm sorry. Let's get into our top 10 characters.
Zeb Aurelius.
Zeb. Yeah, Zeb.
I said Dex. Yeah.
Dex from Dex's Diner. Your number 1 favorite character.
Yeah.
Speaking of.
Hello, Dex.
Garrett wants to know when's. Yeah, I didn't know that you were doing an AC live reaction last night. Otherwise, I would have tuned in. So thanks.
You're talking about Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, little plug right now. I had no idea you were doing it.
Oh, last night? Yeah,
I didn't know
I was going to do it for like 3 days, and it finally last night I was like, I need to do this now, or just not.
Thanks for texting the group chat. You're about to do it, so I could jump on the chat.
Oh well, I just assumed that all of you guys just keep up with.
I don't do notifications.
Oh,
no, I don't like a lot of.
It was just something quick, and for those wondering, I did an Assassin's Creed trailer reaction live last night, which was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. I think you should check it out at youtube.com/Heroshot Media.
There you go. This isn't really news, but what I did want to mention is it also, in May the 4th celebration style, we also got the very last episode of Clone Wars.
Oh yeah.
And
Yep.
I was just gonna briefly just go over my thoughts of the finale of Clone Wars. We were talking about it briefly. I've now watched all of Clone Wars from beginning to end.
All 133 episodes, I think it is. It's like 33, 37.
However many there are. Dude, I remember like for a month I just watched that show straight.
I gave up
a couple years ago. Yeah, you were getting into it, and it's kind of some. I'll be honest with you, some episodes of Clone Wars and with Rebels are just not good.
I will say more than not are not good is my issue. I will say. There's one story arc that I really want to watch. It includes one of my top 3 favorite characters, and I didn't know this until today that he's on it, so I'm actually going to watch it.
I will say I was a little bit concerned because the beginning of this season, that first portion of season 7, where we're still focusing on. It's so funny for the Clone Wars. The episodes that focus on the clones are by far my least favorite episodes. I get it.
Is it because you feel like
I don't know. Maybe it's because they're all the same character. I don't really know. Like it's just I've always found those to be the most boring episodes. And that was what worried me is the first 4 episodes of this season were just all about the clones. And it wasn't until like episode 5 or 6, whenever that was, when we get back into it really delves into Ahsoka is the main character for the rest of the season. And I was telling you before we started recording that this last like half of this season that focuses on Ahsoka is like really I was sort of like maybe a middle of the road Ahsoka fan. Even in the beginning, I think I didn't really even like her that much. But now I actually really like Ahsoka as a character. These last 4 or no, she was even before that, like 6 episodes of this season.
Dude, they love to put Darth Maul and Ahsoka in Star Wars expanded universe. Like, it gets a little bit annoying to me. It really does.
I was telling you, there's 2 episodes ago, so I guess, I don't know, whatever that was. There's a battle between Darth Maul and Ahsoka, and dude, it's like one of the coolest animated battles I've ever seen in anything Star Wars. I venture to say that these last 4 episodes, the Siege of Mandalore that they've covered on the series, is the best animated Star Wars stuff ever. Even better, it's better than Rebels. Anything in Rebels. It's just, dude, it's really fantastic. It's so good, and it's a shame that it's over. But I think they went out on like the best foot that they possibly could. What are you looking at?
Nothing.
You're always looking at something.
I'm always looking at something. I'm a little Cheshire cat.
I'm
a salacious crumb.
I told you that I think that they ended it about as it doesn't end the way I was expecting it to. It's kind of a really quiet and bug. I was telling you before, dude. There's like these little gnats thing that are kind of.
Do I need to be worried? Do I need to like spray myself or something before
I
I
don't
leave
think
your
so.
house?
They're just like little gnat things.
Is it like bed bugs?
No, it's not bed bugs.
Okay.
There's not a bed in here.
Well, true. Okay, then it can't be bed bugs.
Yeah, then it's got to be something else.
Completely safe.
No, dude. It ends. Clone Wars ends not how you expect it, but I think it ends the way that there's no other. I was telling there's no other way that I could have come up with an ending that would have made for a better ending to the series.
It kind of in a weird way, it kind of almost has to be an anticlimactic ending.
Yeah, because I mean, it picks up.
I'm sorry, did they expand on Order 66 against other Jedi a lot? Because that was the thing everyone wanted, but it doesn't seem like it.
Glad you said it, because they do get into it a little bit.
I will say, just to make sure we have enough time for our top 10, 2 more minutes probably on this.
Okay, all right.
Just letting you know.
Fair enough.
Well, no, I'm just letting you know.
No, it's all good. I could tend to ramble sometimes, so I appreciate you. I appreciate you keeping up with the time.
In my head, I'm like, okay, you can talk about each character for 2 minutes, but we're now 2 minutes behind, so we lose 1 minute on one character.
Real quick, I think that in Revenge of the Sith, that's Order 66 is something that never really made sense to me, and it only makes sense if you like get into like the extended reading of Star Wars does Order 66, because they breeze through it so fast in the movie that it doesn't really make sense. And I do appreciate the fact that in this series, they delve into it a little bit more, to the point to where like they kind of Rex. This is slight spoilers. Rex gets his implant removed. Second to last episode of the series.
Before Order 66 is?
No, it was after 66.
Darth Maul cuts it out or something, right?
No, he gets it surgically removed from a couple of droids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Ahsoka kind of knocks him out, and then they locate it, and
they know that's why he's acting that way.
Mm-hmm. They're aware of the inhibitor chip in their brains, which is something that they just don't. They didn't really even question what it was for.
Quick question, sorry. God, I know we're only gonna make this even longer now.
It's all good.
So Rebels, you meet Rex, and he has the other 2 guys with him, right? Where do these people come? Are they not in the end of Rebels? Or they're not in the end of Clone Wars, right? That was a question I saw somebody said online, because Rex just goes off by himself. I guess they meet up. It doesn't really explain it. All right, Star Wars.
That's Star Wars for you. Yeah. And like I said, these last few episodes have really focused on Ahsoka, and we talked about going into the live action version that we're going to get with Rosario Dawson. Really excited to see that character again in the universe, because the last we sort of see of that character is the end of Rebels, where she's going off to locate or try to find Ezra, and that's sort of like where we're left with Ahsoka. And I'm really excited to see her again in whatever season of Mandalorian that happens to be, and pick up with her character again to see what she's been up to these few years.
I really thought there'd be a teaser for the new Rebels sequel that's supposedly supposed to come out this fall. But I assume that's been pushed back now.
I don't know if that's happening anytime. I've heard whispers about that, and I would love it, because if you think about it, dude, Rebels left so much stuff unanswered at the end of it.
Rebels didn't really end in a weird way.
It's like there's still more story to be told there, but that's for another time. We've got our main topic tonight that we wanted to discuss in order to celebrate May the 4th. When we were trying to plan out something to do for the quote unquote holiday, we were like, maybe we could rank our favorite Star Wars movies, and we're like, that's kind of
Everyone does
that.
We've actually done it on Too Much to Say before. So.
We were discussing back and forth, and we were like, maybe we could count down our favorite characters in the entire universe. So that's what we're gonna do tonight. We're gonna start at number 10. We're gonna go down, and we've got a couple honorable
10, 10, 9, 9.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do it like that way, and then got a couple honorable mentions of characters that we would have felt had to be mentioned but didn't make the top 10, unfortunately.
2 minutes max for each character. That way we can be ready for trivia.
All
no,
right.
I'm just letting you know.
It's all good, man.
No, I know. All
right, I'm going to go ahead and
We're playing Star Wars trivia after this.
We are playing. Yeah, we're
sponsored by Malco Theaters.
Very excited about that. Shout out Malco.
Shout out Malco.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and jump into my number 10, and we were just talking about her. My 10th favorite character in the Star Wars universe is Ahsoka Tano.
Ahsoka Tano. One of the coolest looking characters in Star Wars.
I love the way they evolved her look over the years. Wasn't a fan of the way she looked early on in the Clone Wars days. Obviously,
Baby Ahsoka.
Like a little kid. I love the way she looks in Rebels too. It's even a little bit older version of what you just saw.
Oh my god! At the end of Rebels, when she's wearing that white robe and stuff, she looks so mature.
And she's got the two white lightsabers, dude.
Yeah.
Ahsoka.
She's got this like Indiana Jones staff.
It's one of those things that what I love about Ahsoka's character is the fact that when she leaves the Jedi Order at one point during Clone Wars, and she becomes this sort of like in the middle sort of character, hence the white lightsabers.
She kind of becomes like a good bounty hunter, correct? In a weird way,
kinda,
like a mercenary, I guess I should say.
A little bit. And
I watched the scene where it was right before. Like, why isn't Ahsoka in Revenge of the Sith? And it's like 37 seconds between her trying to talk to Anakin, but then she talks to the hologram.
She goes into exile.
And they're basically Mace Windu's like, you're not part of this because you're not part of the Jedi anymore. So
she pulls Obi-Wan, and that's something that I didn't really realize either. Is that they kind of make that clear at the end of Clone Wars? Is that she's pulling she's still being hunted by the remaining troopers. Like she's like at the top of the list of most wanted, characters to take out in the series. So she just goes into hiding, and that's why you don't hear from her until Rebels. So that's my number 10. Eric, I will hand the lightsaber over to you, my friend.
Oh wow. My number 10 is one of the goofiest characters in
I
Star
can't
Wars.
believe you freaking picked this character, man.
Dude, I love this character.
I got a bone to pick with you about why you would even pick this character.
Okay,
man.
so I will say selfishly I picked this character because it's like Isaac and I feel like we have like some character like dumb. Star Wars is full of a lot of dumb characters, but like in a fun, good way.
Yeah, this is like the dumbest.
This is
of
one
them
of the
all.
dumbest characters in Star Wars, and I just love it. Oh wow, I really like your book. I just noticed that the Ralph McQuarrie.
Oh yeah, dude. I had that laying around it, and I was like, oh, I need to include that.
Dude, I love like coffee table books like that. But sorry, anyway. So, Salacious B. Crumb, Jabba's Jester. I think it's pretty cool. So like in the expanded universe, basically he like kind of hit aboard Jabba's ship, and then what's his name? Bib Fortuna finds him, and Jabba's like, "I'll let you live if you make me if you make me laugh at least once a day." And so Salacious
that's why he keeps him around.
That's why he feeds him, and then he lets him.
I hate that character.
Why do you hate him?
Well, it's hard to even say that I hate this character because he's only in the movie. He's only in the entire list of the movies for about 30 seconds.
He's a top 5, I think, offbeat like Star Wars character, like blink and you miss him almost characters.
Yeah.
Top 5.
It's him
easy.
and then the big blue pudgy guy that's playing the keyboards
Max
in the band.
Rebo. Max Rebo. And then you got the one when they redid it with the girl with the big lips. She looks like the woman gremlin. And then that one, the Twi'lek or whatever, falls through the floor.
Yeah.
She was hot. I would have saved her from the Rancor.
I saved her.
But yeah, dude, Salacious Crumb is just like a dumb, fun Star Wars, like chaotic, evil villain thing. And like, I just wish there was more about him.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get a Salacious Crumb novelization one of these days.
I'd be cool with that.
Dude, I'm joking. Obviously, I mean, you can pick whatever you want. But when I saw that you made this your number 10, I was like, what is he doing?
Are you mad at my number 2 then? I feel like my number 2 is kind of off too.
I don't know. What is your number 2?
Here.
No. That makes sense. I think that makes sense.
You probably already kind of knew that one's high for me.
Yeah. My number 9 character is another character we were mentioned earlier as well. Ezra Bridger,
dude,
from the Rebels series.
Ezra's pretty cool. He's Aladdin, but he's cool.
Oh, he is Aladdin.
He's literally Aladdin.
Very much space. Aladdin. For those who didn't check out Rebels, and if you're checking out this podcast, like, I don't know why you wouldn't have checked out Rebels at this point. At least a little bit. I would highly, highly recommend it. I just really and it's another one of those things. There's some good episodes of Rebels. There's some bad episodes of Rebels. But through all of it, like I really grew to love Ezra as a character. And really, I think what it is for me is like why he ended up making my list is because I feel like there's still so much of his story left to tell after Rebels.
Yeah, I mean, where is he?
We kind of spoiled the end of Rebels. He disappears at the end of Rebels, and no one really knows what happened to him. And
him and Thrawn.
Him and Thrawn. And I feel like, dude, they've got to tell the rest of Thrawn's story at some point. That's also got to include telling the end of Ezra's story. So I really liked Ezra's character, and I hope, fingers crossed that we get to see him in the universe.
I'd kind of like if they both didn't age at all, and they kind of come out of some wormhole, or they find him or something like now, like
Time
after
travel?
Rise of Skywalker.
That'd be cool.
World Between Worlds, I guess they could do that.
That'd be cool. What about you, Eric? What is your ninth?
My ninth one we've actually talked about quite a bit tonight. Captain Rex. He is a man he's the Forrest Gump of the Star Wars universe, and I love it.
Dude, wait, no. Do I have this out of order?
You may. I said Captain Rex.
I thought. Where's your list at? Show me
It's
your
right
list.
there. It's what I screenshot you.
Oh dang! I put it out of order. Sorry. There's Captain Rex. So.
Captain Rex, he is so cool. I really just first found out because I had watched Rebels first, and so I learned about him and really got to love him in Rebels. And like there's the famous picture of this like old man at the Battle of Endor.
Yeah.
And then it's been retconned to be Captain Rex.
I should have pulled up. I should have had that picture.
I
ready.
almost texted you it earlier to be like, hey, will you make this the picture for the? But I was like, well, that's not what we normally see him as. But
yeah,
it's
the
cool
Battle of
because
Endor.
it actually looks like him.
Yeah,
like you would believe that's Rex.
Well, what's funny is Dave Filoni has kind of retroactively like retconned that character is Rex.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's made it clear that like he was somebody previously, like doesn't really matter, now he's Rex.
Yeah.
And that's really cool that they've been able to tie that back into the universe that way.
And I love how he's around the Clone Wars. He has a great relationship with Ahsoka, with the Rebels, with Anakin and Obi-Wan. And it's like then he kind of goes through the main period. He's in hiding. Then he kind of helps the Rebels and does that. Then he becomes, he goes help at the Battle of Endor. Then he basically kind of like disappears, as we know, right?
Yeah, I mean, he goes off and retires, I'm sure. Yeah, something like that.
He's a really cool, as boring as Stormtroopers can be, he's a really cool character. And I would love a book or a TV series where it's just like, here's like every couple of years, literally like Forrest Gump, but with Captain Rex, and it's all through his eyes. Like you've seen a lot of Clone Wars through his eyes, so that would be a little bit boring. But if it was kind of later on, and then especially like, imagine what was Captain Rex doing at the Battle of Endor?
Right.
Like, we know he's on the ground and he's helping Han, but like imagine from his point of view, and he's just like, seriously, we're supposed to listen to this guy? Because I can guarantee you, even though Han is a pretty successful rebel like leader at that point, there's no way he wants to listen to Han Solo.
Right.
He didn't want to sit there and listen to like the rebels on the TV show. So I think he would just be a really cool character to like dig even deeper into, especially as he gets older.
I totally agree, man. I love Captain Rex, and I mean, I told you about my my displeasure with the clones earlier in the show, but I really liked what they did with that character in Rebels once it kind of fleshed him out a little bit more. And I've always thought that the idea of the clones was always cooler to me than the clones themselves. Like, and that moment when you first go to Kamino in Attack of the Clones,
I love that movie so much.
That is crazy. Like one. I remember watching that in the theater and be like, it's so funny to me. Like, I don't know if it was just because I was younger or what, but that movie like went way over my head. And it's one of those things like still to this day, like I feel like George could have told that. He could have explained everything a little bit better and like how the clones were made and what they were made for and everything. Because I just was like looking at the.
Well, it's because they didn't get deep enough into the story, but this will actually have to do with one of my other characters, but I won't spoil it yet. But someone actually had an army made under the guise of a Jedi name. They even bring it up in Attack of the Clones.
Sifo
Dyas.
Coolest name. One of the coolest names in Star Wars.
But that Jedi had already been killed, correct?
He was already
whatever.
dead, yeah.
So it's a really interesting. That's one of those Star Wars. Most of Star Wars stories get cooler when you look into all this other stuff where they can do a lot more exposition.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's.
I enjoy
the clones are. it still blows my mind that in Star Wars I'm like clone. Oh yeah, there's clones.
There's
Even
clones
though
are
it's like
a
a
thing.
normal thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, cloning to me feels weird in
Shoot,
Star
freaking
Wars.
Rise of Skywalker. That's been been the explanation for
perfect.
everything. Is like,
Yeah.
oh, it's clones.
Clones.
Anyways, let's go on ahead and I will jump into my number 8 character that we've mentioned a few times already in the show tonight. My 8th favorite Star Wars character, Din Djarin. That's how you pronounce it, right?
Oh, is that the blacksmith?
The Mandalorian. No, that's his name.
Oh, I'm sorry. Right there, it looks like the blacksmith because it's red.
Yeah, it's a little
What
bit
does he
more.
wear red armor?
That's just early on. I think it's probably just a little oversaturated.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, that's just a kind of a different kind of look at the color.
He was almost on my list. I really like him so far.
I hesitated to put either him or a character we'll mention a little bit later on.
My character?
Yeah, well,
The next one I have? Right here? Or one higher up?
That one higher up.
Oh, okay. Wow, I'm surprised you don't have the one my 8 on there, but okay, go ahead.
That's what I was going to say. I debated on actually including those characters or not because we've only gotten the one season of Mandalorian under our belts at this point, and they're still such new and fresh characters that I was like, all right, would they be in my top 10 when there's so many other characters that we've been with for so many years at this point? But the thing is, dude, I loved Mandalorian so much. We were just rewatching the freaking episodes right now, and it's still like watching them for the first time. I really dug the character. It's funny. We were watching that the behind the scenes document, the gallery, and I told you there was a before you came over. I was watching a part, and there was a portion where somebody was talking to the guy playing the Mandalorian, and it's so funny. Like they really haven't said like, oh, by the way, Pedro Pascal was like only on set for one day shooting the Mandalorian. It's so funny watching this behind the scenes stuff because the guy in the Mandalorian suit is so clearly not Pedro Pascal. It's comical.
It's kind of like when you see behind the scenes footage of like original Star Wars and like the people in the Darth Vader suit. The guy's just like, oh yeah, like he's a British voice.
He's British,
right?
Yeah.
And he doesn't sound anything like James Earl Jones.
I want them alive.
Yeah, because he did all the lines, and then like not Peter Warwick, Peter Mayhew would do all the voice. He would actually say what Chewbacca would yell, and then they would dub it over. Oh yeah. So he would say it. So it's just funny because they're like doing scenes. I don't know. Yeah, it's good stuff. But no, the Mando is an awesome character.
It's such a fantastic series, and like I think what another thing is like when we've seen a full season of Mandalorian at this point, and we still have so many questions as to like who the character is, how he fits into the rest of like the Mandalorian sort of community. That's one thing we were talking about is like it still doesn't. You take the Mandalorians from like Clone Wars, and then you could probably exclude Boba Fett because apparently he's not even a real Mandalorian, anyways.
Which is kind of annoying because that's who started it
A
all.
little bit,
like
yeah.
meta wise.
And then you take the Mandalorians from the Mandalorian, and they seem like such different types of characters that how the Mandalorians sort of work still is a little bit of a mystery to me. But I assume that's something that'll be cleared up as the seasons keep coming.
So. Give me a boring exposition at some point.
Yeah, that battle with all the droids, obviously part of the Clone Wars, where he is discovered as a boy and I guess sort of brought up in the Mandalorian religion. I don't know what you would call it, and
can't wait for them to wreck on Ahsoka and Darth Maul into that battle.
Yeah. They were just on the opposite side of those trees.
They were almost there.
Yeah, exactly. But no, the Mandalorian, Din Djarin, I think that's how you pronounce it. Or is it Din Djarin? I don't know.
Is it DJ?
It's DJIN.
So we'll go with the Django rule, so it's probably Jin.
I think it's Din Djarin.
Yeah, I think it's Jin. Like
I'm sorry. It's Din Djarin. The DJ it's DIN DJARIN. Din Djarin. That's how you pronounce it.
Din Djarin.
Din Djarin.
Yeah. Okay, they could have just been like Paul Smith, the Mandalorian.
So what number are we at for you?
My 8. This is like such a weird. This is probably the most out there. Even more
I got
so
your 8 and 9 mixed up somehow.
My 8 is
another Mandalorian character.
IG-11.
And it's so
Taika
funny.
Waititi's character.
It's so when you texted me your list and sent me, I thought, okay, so the original bounty hunter droid from Empire. No, this is the Taika Waititi version.
It's like the perfect Taika Waititi character. Like the way he talks is just kind of like he's kind of like a smart aleck. Sorry, excuse me. He's a great bounty
Crying?
hunter.
You getting emotional?
He's Taika's so good.
He is pretty good.
But just I love his story arc of like being this like kind of like serious bounty hunter and stuff, but then he gets reprogrammed and he becomes a nanny.
Yeah,
and then
basically.
at the end he's just like this murderous nanny, and it's like I have to protect Baby Yoda at all costs. And then he ends up sacrificing himself because he has that beautiful line where he's like, I'm programmed to where I can't be taken hostage, so he'll just blow himself up. And I'm like, it's just such a cool, like, I really do dig his like very small story arc, but it's so cool to me because I'm like, oh wow, like he had like a full on like 2 or 3 seasons worth of story arc in like one season.
Can you remind me? Does he get destroyed at the end of the Mandalorian?
Yeah, he does.
Okay,
he blows himself up.
I couldn't remember.
Yeah, he actually blows himself up. So,
that's unfortunate.
Because he literally cannot be captured.
Maybe we'll see him again next season.
And then I love in the first episode,
rebuilt, reprogrammed.
I hope so somehow. In the beginning of the first season, in like the first episode, when he's about to blow himself up, and like Mando has to be like, no, don't do that. Like he's just like he's so cool. He's very original Star Wars to me.
My number 7 is a character that I think we were alluding to earlier, but I think we got our lines crossed a little bit. My number 7 character actually is the child, a.k.a.
Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
You never really know what to call that thing.
God, he's so adorable.
I will say, I know
cheeks.
he's actually higher on your list, so I will defer to you, and we can discuss him a little bit later on.
You want to do that? Okay.
Yeah. So
that makes sense.
What's your number 7?
My number 7, honestly, this is my most surprising pick.
It was surprising to me.
He went a little bit higher and higher the more I talked to. Baby Yoda just came on my screen. I swear, I just get this like ooh. Count Dooku.
Doo-doo.
Darth Tyranus.
Oh, dude, his Darth name is pretty cool. I forgot he was called
so
Darth
cool, dude.
Tyrannus.
Darth Tyranus. That's better than Darth Vader. That's better than Darth Sidious.
Tyrannus. Why is he that high on your list, though?
I think so this guy was trained by Yoda.
Right.
He was a Jedi. He was the Jedi master to
Qui-Gon Jinn. I was about to say Qui-Gon. That's right.
That lineage right there alone is super cool. Qui-Gon Jinn is a very underrated character. He should be on my top
I would have
10,
loved
honestly.
to, and I'm sure there's an expanded thing somewhere of Dooku as a Jedi.
Oh, dude, so Master and Apprentice, which I've been reading by Claudia Gray. It's about Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon while Obi-Wan is actually still an apprentice. Has flashbacks when Qui-Gon... Yeah, sorry.
I'm sorry. I thought...
I'm going to go that way it doesn't vibrate. There's actually a lot of flashbacks in the book, whole chapters, where it's Qui-Gon being trained by Count Dooku. So to get a lot of exposition there. And then there is a prequel audiobook that is all about Count Dooku that they released as kind of like a script book almost. But it was originally just an audiobook. But Count Dooku is really cool to me because he's kind of like, he kind of got shafted, honestly, like the character. He is a Jedi. He was a very successful, very well-respected Jedi. And then he sits there and he decides his homeworld kind of gets into trouble and stuff. And he decides, he goes back there and helps them. And then he decides, I'm just going to stay and be the Count and help out. And then he ends up being the one, he's really and truly the puppet master who pulls all the strings behind executing the clone army. He's the one who's did, what's the Jedi's name?
Sifo Dyas.
Sifo Dyas. He is the one who said he was Sifo Dyas. And he was supposed to be doing he was the one who was doing all the stuff in the background to get that clone army together and get everything figured out for it. And he's not even really a Sith up until like Clone Wars, but he's still doing evil stuff.
I was going to say there's some arguments to be made as to like whether Dooku or Maul were actually like Sith
Grievous
lords.
Isn't even a Sith Lord. Grievous isn't Sith at all, right?
No, he's not. He doesn't have the Force.
But he wasn't he trained by
He was trained how to. I think he was trained how to use
right?
how to use a lightsaber.
Doesn't Dooku in the Clone Wars like series kind of use him and what's her name against each other? It's kind of like you're my two apprentice.
Oh, Asajj Ventress.
What happened to her? Does she? Oh no, she ends up being a good bounty hunter or something, right?
Yeah, she. There's a story that they tell about her and
she gets with some guy, right?
The guy with the yellow stripe across his face that's in Phantom Menace. I can't think of his name right now.
What is he, a Jedi?
He's a Jedi, and he's in the background of one of the shots in Phantom Menace.
Very Star Wars.
Yeah, he and
remember the ice cream maker?
Oh yeah,
they carry money in it now.
Yeah, come toenail.
Come toenail.
Keep talking.
All right, so Count Dooku, very cool character. I think people underrate Count Dooku and forget about him. He is just very classic, dude. His lightsaber is a curved lightsaber, which is pretty dope.
I always thought his hilt was pretty awesome.
Yeah, the hilt has this cool like curve to it. he's very like just like classy and like you think he is a count. Like, dude, the name Count already, like that as a title, is very.
What's his? Do you know what his first name is?
Count Dooku?
Yeah.
I don't. Not off the top of my head. Thanks.
Sorry,
Maybe you should
man.
go down my list.
Quinlan Voss.
Quinlan Voss is his actual name?
No. That's the guy who's in the background of Phantom
oh.
Menace, who ends up becoming buddies with Asajj Ventress.
But yeah, Dooku's pretty dope character to me.
He's pretty good, and just get like Christopher Lee. I thought like that was cool casting.
Great casting.
After when did Attack of the Clones come out?
It would have been probably 2008 or 9.
No.
Is
Attack of the
before
Clones, not Clone Wars.
Oh, sorry.
The movie.
So 2003 or 4.
Yeah, so I was like 13.
Clone Wars TV show, the original one, and that movie came out in 2003, I think. So it would have been like 2002 probably.
That's right.
Post 9/11.
I didn't know who Christopher Lee was, but like since then I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool casting to cast him as a Sith Lord. But no, he's a cool character. He wouldn't be in my top 10 or by any means, but I always thought that ship that he drives is really cool. That like sail, that like ship in space or whatever. I always thought that was cool. Number 6 for me, another maybe faux Sith Lord, Darth Maul. One of the only, I only got a couple of bad guys on my list here, and even Darth Maul himself.
How many do I have? Just like
you've got a couple,
like 2.5.
Darth Maul, the character that got thrown away at the end of Phantom Menace that so many, I think, young kids of the 90s like saw that character and were like, that is the coolest character I've ever seen.
Yeah, and he
like
just got wasted.
Yeah, and thankfully Filoni and all those guys at Clone Wars decided to bring him back after the end of Phantom Menace, and he's one of those characters that has since he's popped up in mostly animated stuff. Dude, I will say, I know a lot of people hated that scene at the end of Solo where you see him.
No, it's pretty cool.
I freaking lost my mind
cool.
when I saw
it. Was shoehorned in for sure, but
like
it was cool.
Maybe, yeah, that's probably true. But like when I saw him at the end of Solo, I was like, good, that's awesome, so cool. I've always liked the character, and like I said, yeah, he was kind of wasted in Phantom Menace, but since then they've really like evolved his character so much to where like he isn't necessarily, and I said it earlier, he's a bad guy, but he's not really a bad guy. It may be a certain way to put it, I guess, because he hates the Emperor just as much as any of the characters that we love.
That's my issue. Is the more I think we're kind of on the opposite side with Darth Maul. The more that Darth Maul has gotten screen time, the less I've liked him.
Really?
Because I feel like he's not like his movie character at all.
He is. Yeah, I could agree with it because in the movie he's like he's like the assassin
like
kind of guy that doesn't say anything. But then
does he have any dialogue in?
He says that one line where he's like,
in the desert.
At last, we will have our revenge. He says something before that. We will make ourselves known to the Jedi. At last, we will have our revenge. Something like that.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah. But what they've done with the character since then, I've actually really enjoyed.
It's way too complicated.
And it's just one of those things, man. It's just like I still, to this day, when I was a kid and I saw that trailer for Phantom Menace early on and saw Darth Maul for the first time, I was like, who is that? Like, yeah.
Keep talking about him.
I just like still to this day, I think he's one of the coolest. He's like the coolest character to me.
He's your number 6?
He is my number 6. Your number 6 is
Princess Leia.
Oh,
I think she's a really cool. Think about like the idea of a princess, anyways, but also like in the 70s for like a princess. Like she's like.
Plus, she's hot.
No, I don't need to. I really don't find her hot at all, to be honest.
Wow.
I mean, the Jabba bikini, yeah, but I mean, who wouldn't?
Yeah.
Yeah. She is just like cool because she's like, give me a blaster, like I'm gonna like tell these guys, like push them around, like you're not here to save me, I'm here to be like help you,
right,
type of thing. And I really like that about her.
She kept that going even into the sequel trilogy where she becomes General Leia,
and that's what I like. She didn't become Queen Leia, she became General Leia.
Well, her planet got blown up, but that's here neither here nor there.
Well, true. Some people still call her princess though.
That's true.
Yeah. She still is technically a princess.
Technically, she was born on Mustafar. Oh, no, is that right?
No, that weren't born on Mustafar.
She was born on Coruscant.
I would assume Coruscant. I assume they were both born on Coruscant because it's the robot gives birth.
Yeah,
it's twins. She's dying, and we don't know why.
She died of a broken heart.
Oh God!
God, it's so lame.
The prequels are so good, though. They really are.
I love the prequels, man. But some parts of it are so dumb.
Star Wars is dumb. It just is.
She was born on Polis Massa.
What? Another planet? They don't even. It's the inside of a building. They didn't make up a new planet for it.
I thought it was on
Coruscant.
It was on
an
an
Coruscant
asteroid.
was being taken over pretty quick.
It's an asteroid field.
Wait, Bail Organa's with him. I thought Bail was on Coruscant. Doesn't he meet with Yoda right before Yoda gets in a fight with Palpatine? Or am I just not?
I remember that part where he was like, I will take the child. We've always wanted a daughter.
Yeah, this won't look fishy. My wife's been pregnant this whole time, remember? But yeah, no, and that's what I like is like Princess Leia, especially in Rebel, dude. Her appearances in Rebels is really cool.
Yeah,
how she is just like she's always been like a rebel and a fighter, but she does it for the good, the greater good.
Her little cameo at the end of Rogue One. Some people not a fan. I happen to think it was really cool.
Hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a really cool. She's one of the coolest fictional characters. I would argue she's, and this goes against one of my someone who's coming up pretty soon here. I would argue she's the coolest main original trilogy character. I'm gonna be honest. This is probably a hot. This is a hot take even for me.
Hot button issue.
Darth Vader, get the hell out of here,
dude.
Get the hell out of here.
He's
Darth
so
Vader.
high on my list,
dude. I know he probably is, but he is for a lot of people. Darth Vader can suck nuts. Okay,
all right.
I can't believe I just said that out loud.
We're all entitled to our own opinions.
I think Anakin Skywalker is way more interesting than Darth Vader.
Well, see, for me, I kind of
two different characters.
They are two different characters. I completely agree with you, but for the sake of this list, I combined them into one.
So Baby Yoda and Yoda should have been one character.
Yeah, because
my top two, Baby Yoda and Yoda. No, I'm just kidding.
For me, my number 5, a character that I think
my top 10 was all just clone troopers.
Just all
I should have sent that to you last night, where it's like Reese or whatever their name is, Trips,
Wolf.
whatever their names are.
5s.
I could have just made up names. Yeah.
And I would have been like, good grief. I can't even find pictures of these guys.
Yeah. Ace.
My number 5, a character that I think often gets overlooked, but I think without this character, well, really without this character, none of the events of Star Wars would have ever happened.
Jar Jar Binks.
That is R2-D2. R2-D2 is quite simply the most reliable character in the entire saga. He is...
Jeez, thanks, Midwest.
That's how George Lucas says it.
Does he really say
He says saga.
Where's George Lucas from?
California.
I'm surprised he says saga.
He says saga.
Do you think he got his kids a Saga Genesis?
He also says laser sword instead of lightsaber.
Which is crazy. Yeah. Because you think you'd want to be on brand.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so funny when Luke says that in Last Jedi. He's like, I'd come through with a laser sword.
Yeah.
Anyways, R2-D2, he is the savior in so many situations, especially in the prequels. I feel like he's saving Anakin like every 5 minutes from something.
Dude, R2-D2 is the ultimate. He's like the personification of like fly on the wall. Like,
yeah, I saw
something on. Save your life.
I saw something not too long ago that somebody posted, and they're like, "Why didn't R2 just let everyone know what was going on with the Emperor, and everything?" And I do like that line, and some people might think this was stupid. I don't know, but I do like it there in The Rise of Skywalker, where C-3PO says like R2's data memory units are notoriously faulty or whatever.
Well, also, so it's basically canon. What is it? Oh my God! From a certain point of view, that book that came out where a bunch of different authors. The book mostly sucks, but there is one in there where it basically explains away why R2 and Ben Kenobi didn't act like they recognized each other.
Oh yeah,
and it explains that scene. There is a scene like in the movie, he looks at R2 for a second, and like he kind of gives this little bit of look, and of course that didn't mean anything at the time, probably, but they retconned it to where he kind of looked at R2, kind of like keep this low, like don't say you know me, or don't let Luke know that he's been on adventures.
Like he did recognize.
And remember, he says he's never owned a droid, Ben Kenobi or Obi-Wan, because Obi-Wan never owned R2. He never technically owned R2.
Right.
R2 went with him, but it was always Anakin's droid.
Anakin's droid.
So, and then Padme's, I guess, more than anybody. But
that's
yeah, so that's why he's allowed to say it, because he didn't lie to Luke.
Yeah,
because some people try to say that he lied to Luke.
I always kind of made the explanation in my head that like, dude, the galaxy's full of droids. Like he's probably gonna get some of them. Like he's not gonna be able to remember every droid he ever knew.
Have you ever seen the deleted scene from Revenge of the Sith? It's been going around the last few days.
I don't think so.
Oh my God. Okay. Okay, so I'm the next one. Start number 5. Okay. I find it, because it's my number 5 is the same as your lower one. So you explain yours for a second. My number 5 is Baby Yoda.
Yeah, no, yeah, and okay, so yeah, Baby Yoda is your number 5. It was my number 7. Yeah, I mean, what, dude? Like I said, I debated on whether or not actually including.
Sorry, I already found it.
Okay,
dude, it's so funny.
So this is
a deleted scene from Revenge of the Sith. Remember the beginning where they're trying to save the Chancellor?
Here, I'm gonna hold it up to my mic.
Okay, well, they're trying to save Palpatine. Anakin's gonna speak R2.
It's broken. Can you understand what he's saying? I'm not a protocol droid. I'm pretty sure that beep is down. I sense Count Dooku is above us. Oh, yes, you're right. Beep is up. I think.
That's so bad.
That's funny,
man. That doesn't even make sense. How would he make that noise?
Yeah, it's like he was cursing and they bleeped it over with droid
doesn't
noises.
Match his mouth. Like it's just.
Yeah. It's like he just went up. No, is the yeah. Anyways.
I do like how some people in Star Wars they know what beeps mean and stuff, and other people don't. Rebels is famous with that, with like Zeb doesn't know what Chopper's saying at all, but by the end of the series he knows what he's saying.
Yeah.
But no, Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda is to me the personification of modern Star Wars, or just modern media.
He's single-handedly he and Mando saved Star Wars.
Dude,
if you are a hater on the internet.
Baby Yoda is the Pokemon Go of 2019, I guess. Am I too far?
You were a little far.
Sorry.
It's all good.
Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
Dude, should I do some like AMSR?
No, it's fine.
Baby Yoda. Was that cool?
that was all right. Like I debated on whether or not.
So cute. Like I told you earlier, I want to eat Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
He's that cute.
Yeah.
I want to pick him up.
Put him in the mouth.
Remember in Space Jam when one of the Monstars turns Michael Jordan into a basketball and just.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do to Baby Yoda and throw him in a little love basket.
What'd you say earlier? You made quite a funny comparison.
I would let someone cut my most needed appendage off if I could have a real Baby Yoda.
If you could have a real Baby Yoda as a friend.
No, probably as like a pet, I guess.
As a pet.
He wouldn't be a pet. That'd be kind of weird.
Yeah. And then he just rips you apart with the Force.
Oh, God. Because I won't give him some chicken nuggies.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, it's so cute, man. Baby Yoda is just so cute. And I love how he's actually trying to fight the dark side already. Like, if you watch Mandalorian,
I
like,
forgot
he,
about
like,
that.
Force chokes.
Yeah.
And he does, like, evil things, but he doesn't understand. Like, he needs guidance, which is how I think Ahsoka's going to come into play. But he needs someone to teach him the ways of the Jedi.
Do you think he's a clone of Yoda? Or do you think he's just another member of that species?
I don't think so. There was a rumor, and it may have been from one of the bigger Star Wars sites at one point, that they went to
Star Wars.
They went to. Did you see about all that yesterday? We'll get into that off the show. That guy's a creeper, apparently. Like total Jim Davis, I think his name is, or something.
The guy that runs that site?
Dude, like total, that got totally blown up. A bunch of Me Too stuff yesterday.
No,
like,
I didn't hear that.
Very creepy. So someone did like a set visit or something, and they had a bunch of Yoda puppets, like older Yoda puppets, supposedly in episode 7 or 8 of this season, he was supposed to bring him back to his planet to like other Yodas, and I was so looking forward to that, and it never happened.
Yeah, I mean, I'm certain we'll get that at some point. We need more explanation on the character itself, but I also kind of like the mystery. The only reason why anyone ever brought up the idea of cloning is, one, that seems to be the explanation for everything in the Star Wars universe now, is that it's a clone. But the guy at the beginning of the series that is with the Werner Herzog trying to get the child back, he has that insignia on his uniform of the Camino cloners, and so a lot of people have tried to put the little the pieces. Try to put the clues together that he might be I was trying to think of like breadcrumbs. That's what I was trying to think of. I was thinking of bread scraps.
Bread scraps? Okay, Oliver Twist.
I was trying to think of like Hansel and Gretel. Anyways,
but it's two Baby Yodas and one has pigtails.
Baby Yodas. We all love Baby Yoda here at Heroshot. We certainly think that you do also. If you don't, then you just get off the internet.
Yeah.
But no, dude. I mean, excited. I literally like. I'm not as excited. I mean, hopefully,
Baby Yoda doesn't need to be on the Mandalorian past season 2. I'm just saying it. I love Baby Yoda, but they can't sit there and milk this thing too long. I'm gonna get annoyed.
Well, I mean, my hope is that we do see the character older at some point, but then I realize that it's like 300 years in the future where he's like actually, and like that's
we'll never get there in Star Wars.
I don't think we're ever gonna get there. So,
you have to put him away at some point because he's gonna be the exact same character.
Yeah. Shoot, I was about to say something and then I lost my train of thought.
Really profound.
All I was just going to say is, I think at this point, based upon everything that's been canceled so far as we know, we're still getting season 2 in like October, right?
I mean, they were still filming a little bit. It sounds like so probably November or December.
That's like that's really the one thing I'm looking forward to like the rest of the year is the second season of Mandalorian.
Hey man,
I guess that and like Tenet.
No Time to Die in November. That'll be kind of fun, hopefully.
James Bond?
Yeah.
I don't really like James Bond.
Oh, okay. Number 4.
Okay. So you're going.
We are so far behind.
Yeah, we're a little bit behind. We're gonna make these quick. My number 4 is
hang on? Should we stop this? Oh no, we can't because it's live.
Yeah, no. We'll just go through them real quick. My number 4, Yoda, OG Yoda. What can you say? The most beautiful sayings. Go back and listen to what Yoda has to say again. It's very beautiful. It's like tattoo worthy. It's like something that you would get tattooed on your body.
Do it or not, there is no try. Across your collarbone.
No. It's like
no regrets.
This crude matter. We are not, or we are. Shoot, what does he say?
We are family.
He says something is like we are like heaven or something.
We are like heaven.
Heavenly, or this crude matter. We are not. We are. I can't remember what he says. Your number 4.
My number 4 is Han Solo. Dude, he's suave. He's cool. He's Harrison Ford, right? I'm not counting Force Awakens Han Solo because he kind of sucks. But, dude, Han Solo is just a suave, sexy, fun hunk, He's a smuggler. He does what he wants. He's got the coolest sidekick ever in Chewbacca.
It's true.
We almost should have done Star Wars ranking just side characters, but like a bracket style. Chewbacca, R2, C-3PO,
Chewbacca
BB-8,
Johnson,
Chopper. Yeah, like dude, Han Solo is awesome. He kind of goes without saying. How can someone not like Han Solo? He's the ass everyone loves. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
I don't want us to add hold to it because then I think may be an issue.
My number 3, the character I mentioned earlier, Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader. What I love so much about Anakin's story, as I guess technically the chosen one, if that's still the case, I think it is. I think technically he still is technically the chosen one.
Who's the chosen one?
He is the one who's bringing about the balance of the Force, even though Sidious eventually comes back. Anyways, I love Anakin's story. When you look at, people hate on the prequels, but when you look at Anakin's story from beginning to end, I think it's like actually a really like beautifully told sort of poetic story of like a character who falls to the dark side, falls from grace, trying to protect the ones that he loves, and ultimately is redeemed in the end. I think his story kind of is Star Wars, even though he's less in those prequel movies, but or sequel movies, I should say. No, I love like it. It's just a really well crafted arc, I guess is what you could say, from the beginning to the middle to the end. I love Anakin Skywalker's story.
I like Anakin a lot, but
and if you don't like Vader as much, that's cool. But to me, I think they're kind of two sides of the same coin.
Vader's just not threatening to me. That's my issue.
I do. Well, I could see that he's not as threatening in the original movies as much. But
I think if I went back to when Star Wars first came out and he was kind of the only big bad, especially for the first 2 movies,
yeah,
I would be like, wow, he's awesome. But I'm like, now, if you look at Star Wars now, like not even threatening bad guys, but like cool bad guys, Darth Vader, no way.
Let's see. Speaking of bad guys, threatening bad guys, your number 3 is
Jabba the Hutt. Jabba the Hutt is awesome. He lives in an old monk monastery. So get this real quick. This is going to be my only thing about Jabba. Jabba is a gangster, right? He's a crime lord.
Right.
The Hutt crime family. He took over a monastery on Tatooine, took the monks, pulled their brains out, put them into jars, to where they could be in robots and walk around and stay in the monastery.
Oh, is he the one that came up? I know what you're talking about, where they take something's brain off and like the top of their head is missing.
Lobot or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Like
There was a couple of those in. You see one of those in Solo.
But but in Jabba's palace, it's literally just brains in jars that like move around on robotic body type things.
Oh no, that's the opposite of what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking
what you're talking about,
of a person's body without a brain.
No, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah. But that's not. I'm thinking of really the complete opposite. Brain, no body.
The complete opposite.
Dude, Jabba's awesome to me. He is. I want all the Jabba. I want a Jabba crime TV show. Taika Waititi doing a show about Jabba's, like if Jabba, like a bunch of different bounty hunters Jabba has. We need Salacious Crumb in Taika's movie. You know he fits.
He doesn't fit anywhere.
Yeah, it does in Star Wars in your heart.
He fits everywhere and nowhere. Because he'll just be like, wah!
Number 2.
My number 2, the greatest non-human side character of all time, Chewbacca Johnson.
Chewbacca Johnson.
Not Johnson. I like throwing that Johnson on there. I mean, what can you say, dude? He
it starts in 1 minute.
He is like the loyal sidekick to Han Solo, and I love that they've even continued his character on into the sequel trilogy. I don't imagine we'll see any future stories involving Chewbacca. I gotta think that that's the case. He's like 600 years old or something like that.
Yeah, his story
400 years old.
His sequel story is kind of weak.
I love Chewie though. He's kind of always been.
I want to see more of him and Ben as like a kid and teenager.
That'd be cool. But no, I've always loved Chewie.
Yeah, Chewbacca is probably my favorite side character.
That Garrett was asking a question in the chat. No, the greatest side character of all time, Chewbacca.
I'm jumping out of the chat to go to where we need to go next. Just a heads up.
All right, we'll finish this. No,
you're good. I'm just letting you know.
Go ahead with your number 2.
My number 2 is my favorite non-main Star Wars character, Admiral Akbar.
That's kind of.
I collect all these Star Wars. I try to collect at least. I need to complete the collection. Every Admiral Akbar figure that's been put out or like piece of merchandise. So it's all sitting up in my closet. Once I buy a place, I'll actually put them all in like one area. But I love Admiral Akbar. I think he's really cool. He's a general. He got an unfair shake there in Last Jedi, and that to me was the worst aspect of Last Jedi, was that Akbar sort of went out unceremoniously, like a bee.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Admiral Akbar.
I love Admiral Akbar too. Didn't make my top 10, but he probably would have been in my top. I love that character, and I also love Raditz too.
Dude, Raditz is cool, yeah. Or Radis, and then the ship's name is Radis in Last Jedi.
We had a couple of honorable mentions. I'm going to go through those really quickly. For me, I had a couple that I was going to mention. Kanan from...
Dude, Kanan I meant to put on this list,
from Rebels. Awesome character. Ezra's teacher got a really cool ending to his story, and he's popped up in little brief glimpses of... other stories. Popped up in Clone Wars there as a Padawan. I guess you haven't, but he popped up in the last couple episodes of Clone Wars as a Padawan, which was pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah,
I saw the hologram thing in the trailer, but
him and his master. Yeah,
that's cool.
They popped up. Let's see here. Grievous was another we mentioned earlier. Just a really cool character. The idea of like a biological sort of brain and guts inside of a cyborg body. I always thought that was a cool thing. And plus, he's just like one of the coolest looking characters in Star Wars. Another Clone Wars character that I think has not gotten a fair shake and has sort of been forgotten about, that deserves to be brought back in some way or another, is Cad Bane. Really awesome.
I didn't like him at all in like the couple episodes I saw him in. To be honest. Yeah.
Love that character. Love the cool bounty hunter from Clone Wars. Still technically kicking. He's around somewhere in the universe. He hasn't gotten a technical or an official death yet, so he's around in the universe somewhere. So that story could continue. And
how do I see this?
Your honorable mention was Jango Fett.
Yeah, I like Jango Fett a lot.
They've since come out and said that character is not an actual Mandalorian. I always thought that explanation was a little weird, but nonetheless, really cool character from the prequels, father of Boba Fett. Yeah, and the best thing about all of this is that you and I actually share our number one, which actually was pretty ironic that it ended up being that way. But our number one favorite Star Wars character from the Star Wars universe, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, he's dope.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Just real briefly, because we're short on time here, but the reason why I love Obi-Wan so much is, one, he's just a badass. I've always found him to be a badass.
Cool. Yes, he's calm, but he could like just destroy you.
But I also really like his story. His story is like, for a hero, dude. His entire story is that of failure. He failed. The entire Jedi Order failed with the whole Anakin going to the dark side thing and not being able to identify the Emperor as a Sith Lord. But what makes Obi-Wan's story so awesome, in my opinion, is the sort of retribution, the sort of the way things sort of are circular in George Lucas's mind. The whole story is like circular, of Obi-Wan then training Luke, who then converts Darth Vader, who then overthrows the Emperor, that sort of thing. From top to bottom, I just have always liked Obi-Wan's story. Pumped out of my mind when we got the announcement that he's getting his own series starring Ewan McGregor. That to me is so perfect.
I love.
And I hate that there was that little touch and go moment there for a while where they were acting like, oh, maybe they're not going to do a series. Still sort of up in the air, but by all accounts, it seems like that's back on track. This virus pandemic has sort of slowed things down, but I think sooner or later we will get that series that we've kind of. Dude, it's so funny to me how many people, and I guess this has to do with the fact that I don't know, just the fan base itself, I think, has matured. The hate for the prequels, in my opinion, I think has dissipated in years past. I think there's not the hate. That the prequels that there was.
Because now you have the sequel trilogy to hate.
Yeah, and yeah, that's very true. People have taken their hate from one trilogy to the other.
Yeah,
that's very true. But to me, the best part of the entire prequel trilogy is Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I think he does a fantastic job, and I can't wait to see him play the character again.
Dude, I love Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah, Ewan McGregor kills it.
Yeah,
it's just like so simple to me. I'm like, how could you not just love?
No.
There's a lot of Star Wars characters I feel like everyone likes, but like, how could you not love Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Right.
He's heartbreaking. He's smart.
Yeah. His story is tragic, but it's also like, you dude, go and you don't even have to watch the entire Rebels itself. You can go get on YouTube and watch the battle on Tatooine where he finally takes down Maul, and it's beautiful, it's poetic, it's so many things, and it's animation, but it's at the same time like it's if you are a fan, it's like super powerful stuff. If you consider yourself a Star Wars fan and have not seen that last sort of confrontation between Kenobi and Maul, I could not recommend it more.
Same.
Well, that's about. Dude, I hate to get out of here in such a run out of here as quickly as
No, you're good.
we got to, but we've got this Star Wars trivia thing that we are kind of running late for, so we are going to wrap things up. We really appreciate anybody who checked out the live stream. Like I said, the audio version of this will also exist on the Too Much to Say podcast feed here in a couple of days. So if you are more partial to the audio stuff, you will be able to find it there. You can follow Eric and myself at PlayAlada, at Dunk Butler, and you can also use the hashtag TMTS for when we do Too Much to Say. If you want to drop us a line with any kind of topic ideas or anything like that, we love the feedback. So we would really appreciate it if you left us a line there, or subscribe to us on iTunes.
Tell us which character we're wrong about liking.
Exactly, that's another thing too. We'd love to hear,
because the internet would be like, that character sucks.
Yeah, I'd love to hear in the comments below, like what people's favorite Star Wars characters are, and also like how dumb we are for having included characters that they hate. So that's always fun. But like I said, Too Much to Say, you can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, anywhere you listen to podcasts, you can find Too Much to Say. You can also find us continuing with live streams, all that fun stuff on the Heroshot Media YouTube channel. That's where you can find it's pretty simple. Heroshot Media for the video stuff. Too much to say for the audio stuff. That's about as simple as it can get. Well,
Yeah.
all right, Eric. Well, we hate to rush out of here, but we've got places to be and people to babies to kiss.
Baby Yoda's to kiss.
Baby Yoda. There you go. Absolutely.
Oh man, wouldn't that be precious?
Happy,
Pick 'em up and just.
Happy Star Wars Day to all of you Jedi and Sith out there. Happy May the 4th. Hope you have a good one. We love you, and may the Force be with you. Always.
Do you want?